Basically, an IVA is a legally binding agreement between you and your creditors. It's a way to pay off your debts over a set period of time, which is usually around 5 years. And then at the end of that time, any remaining debt's written off. So how does an IVA work in practice? Well, you start by finding an insolvency practitioner. They'll help you put together a proposal for your creditors, which will outline how much you can afford to pay each month towards your debts. If your creditors agree to the proposal, then your IVA starts. You'll make monthly payments to your insolvency practitioner, who will distribute that money to your creditors. So, now we know what an IVA is and how it works. Let's talk about the pros and cons. First up, the pros. The biggest advantage of an IVA is that it's a legally binding agreement. So this means that your creditors can't change their minds and demand more money from you later on. It also means that you have a fixed end date in sight. Once your IVA is finished, any remaining debt's written off and then you can start afresh. Another advantage of an IVA is that it's a flexible solution. You can usually include all your unsecured debts such as credit cards, store cards and personal loans. You'll make one affordable payment which will be distributed to all your creditors. With an IVA, your creditors are legally required to stop contacting you about your debts. They also can't take any legal action against you, like applying for a CCJ, that's a county court judgment, or sending bailiffs to your home. This can provide a lot of relief if you've been dealing with harassment from creditors. As I mentioned before, with an IVA, you'll make one affordable monthly payment that's distributed to all your creditors. And this can be much simpler and less stressful than having to manage multiple payments to different creditors. Plus, at the end of your agreed term, any remaining unpaid debt is written off. You'll have reduced monthly payments. Your insolvency practitioner will work with you to come up with a monthly payment that you can afford based on your income and your expenses. This means that your monthly payments could be significantly reduced compared to what you're currently paying. Okay, now let's talk about the cons. So first up, an IVA is a big commitment. You'll be making monthly payments for around 5 years. You need to be confident that it's a good long-term move for you, as it's not something that you can just get out of whenever you want. Another downside of an IVA is that it will affect your credit rating. Your credit rating will be negatively affected for the duration of the IVA and for some time afterwards. This means that it'll be harder for you to get credit in the future, or you might have to pay higher interest rates. There are costs and fees associated with setting up an IVA, which can feel quite high. Your insolvency practitioner will take a percentage of your monthly payments as their fee, which can add up over the course of an IVA. These fees are included in your monthly payment. Not all types of debt can be included in an IVA. So, for example, secured debts like mortgages and car loans, they can't be included. You'll still need to make these payments separately, which could make it harder to afford your monthly payments for the IVA. Another downside is that if you miss any payments or fail to comply with the terms of the IVA, it could fail. This means that your creditors could resume legal action against you and you could end up back where you started with your debts. So, should you really get an IVA? Well, as with most things in life, it depends. If you're struggling with debt and you need a legally binding solution to help you pay it off, then an IVA could be a good option for you. It's flexible and it can help you avoid bankruptcy. However, it's a big commitment and it will affect your credit rating, so it's important to weigh up the pros and cons before you make a decision. Finding the right debt solution for you can be challenging, and if you found yourself struggling with debt, you may want to look into debt solutions. So a little bit like an IVA, some of them lower your monthly repayments and others can even write some of your debts off. It all depends on your unique financial situation and what you qualify for. Under this video, I've linked to a form on my new website and it's got a few multiple choice questions like how much debt do you owe, how many people do you owe, and then at the end of that form, it'll connect you to a company that I've partnered with to provide you with all the information you need about debt solutions and IVAs that are available. So click the link in the description, go and check it out and let me know how you get on.